I made a video on No Man's Sky a little while ago, and in the video I said that I'm very much enjoying the game. Now I've played it a hell of a lot more, and my opinions have, to some extent, changed. I'd like to go through in this video with you and talk about the problems. And there are some problems with this game, and I'm going to address them. Let's start with the main problem, which in my opinion has a lot to do with the game's development. Hello Games is a relatively small team, and when they announced No Man's Sky, the hype that built around it was something that we had never seen before in this industry. It was amazing. When you throw phrases such as an entire universe to explore around, people get very, very excited. People love the concept of being able to travel between planets, and the development team claiming that every planet was unique with its own unique life on it, that the game was multiplayer, but you're so big, you're unlikely to find anyone. Come on, that's gonna drive up hype. And by being intentionally vague, the development team just added to this hype train, and to an extent I can understand why they did it. If they were getting so much support for doing a certain thing, why would you stop doing that certain thing? But the problem here, chaps, arises when they start charging AAA prices for a game which simply does not deliver AAA goods. I've heard some people say that No Man's Sky is as wide as an ocean but as deep as a puddle. And having played it for an extensive period of time, I can understand totally where you're coming from. Yes, you have a lot to explore, and yes, the universe is vast and there's a lot to do, but when it comes down to it, you're traveling from planet to planet, which in essence are simply retextured spheres, mining the same stuff, finding the same stuff, and doing the same stuff to then escape that solar system to then go and do the same stuff in a different solar system. Now, I've played the game for about 40 odd hours now, and I can happily say that I'm pretty much done with it. Initially, say my first 10 hours were incredibly fun, because I like the survival genre, I like space games, I like trading and doing numbers and stuff like that, so I had a wonderful time exploiting the trade system and playing that. But it slowly and surely dawned on me that the depth of the trading was pretty paper thin, and what you actually had to do in the game, aka going down to planets, exploring them, seeing what there is, all the buildings are just copy-pasted. The NPCs are a bit copy-pasted, and, you know, as a small team, what they've done is absolutely phenomenal. This is an amazing game for a small team. But again, you're charging AAA prices. This is a £40 or $60 game. And when you pay that kind of money, you expect something that's polished, refined, optimized, and deep. And we did not get that with No Man's Sky. And let me ask you another bloody question. Why in God's name do consoles never get the shitty ports? I don't know how many times I've waited for a PC port from a console game, because let's be real now, PC is obviously the best, and been delivered this utter piece of unoptimized shite. Now, No Man's Sky's PC port was delayed as it was, so it was pushed back a couple of days. God knows the state of it if it had been released on time. It would have been, I don't know, unplayable. The problems people were facing, game-breaking problems, these terrible FPS spikes, people running on dual 1080s with having, 10 frames a second. I don't know anyone who hasn't experienced, at least in some form or another, terrible frame drops and other frame-related issues. Trying to record the game is an absolute bitch. Trying to tab out of the game is a bitch. So many issues arose. And when you're paying £40, right, £40 or $60, you expect something that you can sit down and play hassle-free, right? That the least you expect is that. If this game was maybe £20 or, I don't know, $30, something like that, we might have been a little bit more lenient towards the issues. It's a small team that have tried to do something ambitious. In the most part they've succeeded, but there are still problems. But when you're charging AAA prices, we expect a AAA product. And did we get that? No, because it's still not fixed. We're still suffering with these problems. And it's almost been a week now. Come on, guys. And again, part of it comes down to the hype that was made throughout development. If you promise people this universe they can explore, their minds run wild. You're never ever going to be able to deliver on that hype. That hype was so ridiculously astronomically high that no matter what you did, you would still disappoint a lot of people. And releasing the PC port that was unoptimized and to some extent unplayable, and a load of retextured planets, weird looking aliens, NPCs that just kind of didn't work, they just looked like they'd been tapped on, no functionality with being able to customize your ship at all, very paper thin depth in the game. Of course people are going to be disappointed because they wanted the limit, they wanted the sky, and they got the sky, but it wasn't quite the sky they had in mind. At the end of my last video, I said, wait till the PC port gets fixed if you're going to buy it. Now, I'm going to tell you honestly now, I've played this game for about 40 hours, as I said before. I'm done with it now. I don't think I'll ever play it again. To be perfectly honest with you, I had a good time playing it, and I enjoyed very much those 40 hours, dwindling at the end with my enjoyment, but, I had a good time. If you're willing to spend $60 or £40 on 40 hours of playtime and some bugs, then by all means, you can buy this game. But right now, I can't recommend it, just for the fact that if you're paying that kind of money, you'd want to play it for hundreds of hours. And I've talked to a lot of my friends, and none of them have got really past the 20-30 hour mark. And I think that says quite a lot for what you're getting here as a package. So buyer beware, this is my follow-up video. I've been asked to do this quite a few times now, a kind of reflective video on my current opinion on the game. So here you go. That was my little divulgence there. Stay coy, chaps. Bye-bye.